Man alive, was he electric with New York. And now Jacob deGrom is a member of the Rangers, introduced on Thursday. Look at that, a Rangers hat and jersey, and that's not something that many people thought we would see. Chris Young and Bruce Bochy, and now Jacob deGrom with a Rangers hat and uniform. Jacob, I'm going to start you with a softball here. Congrats. But how does that feel to be wearing that hat and that jersey?
Yeah, I'm super excited talking to Boch and CY throughout this process, and what they're trying to build here is winning, and, for a number of years. So that was exciting. And, ultimately it led to this decision, and couldn't be more excited.
Jake, was it a tough decision to leave the Mets?
Yeah, definitely. I talked on that. I spent my first 8+ years there, and the Mets organization was great to me. My teammates there had great friends still from that, and ultimately the fan base. They welcomed me there in 2014, and were always cheering for me, and great to me and my family. So they'll always hold a special place in my heart. And I do appreciate that everything that the Mets fans did for me.
So when you look back, I know it hasn't been very long, but give me a sense of, let's put money aside for a second, because the human element is involved as well. Does this fit you and your family better than being in New York? Was that part of your equation?
No, I wouldn't say that. We enjoyed our time there. Like I said, I've spent 8+ years there. We had an absolute blast. Jackson spent the first 6 years of his life there, and Aniston the first 4. So we enjoyed it. And it was just talking to CY and Boch and what they wanted to build here, and being in constant contact with them. They were very involved, and I really felt like they wanted me here, and it was the feelings were mutual, and that's ultimately what led to this decision.
Jake, the ballpark seems like a pitcher's ballpark. Did that have any part of a decision on where you were going to be?
Yeah, I didn't think too much into that. It was, you get the calls of what teams you're going to be talking to, and one of them was the Rangers, and that was exciting. But then, like I said, after getting on the Zoom call with Boch and CY, they really impressed me, and this was something I felt like I wanted to be a part of.
Does it excite you to be part of what could be something special with the Rangers down the road, a team that has struggled since they've opened up the new ballpark, but you're kind of like last year they bring in Simeon and they bring in Seager, and all of a sudden you feel like you could be an additional piece to get this organization headed in the right direction?
Yeah, definitely. The goal is to go out there and every fifth day put our team in a position to win, and that's what the goal is, and that's what I'm going to try to do: put us in the best position to win, and go out there and compete. You guys know baseball. Anything can happen, and once we get between the lines, leave it all out on the field. So looking forward to that day.
Hey, Jacob, looking at, you look at innings and you look at games started. How is your health right now? I know you pitched the back half and into the postseason, but right now, do you feel that you are getting ready to be able to throw 30 games?
Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is to go out there every fifth day for 30+ games and go out there and compete. I finished last year feeling really good. Felt like I could have kept going once I got over the scap issue, and everything felt good. So, preparing this offseason to go out there and make 30+ starts and put the Texas Rangers in the best position to win when I'm on the mound.
Jake, I marvel watching you pitch, and I think one of the things that amazes me as the longer you've pitched, it seemed like your velocity, it has gotten better. Is it just a better understanding of your body, better understanding of mechanics, a combination of all of those?
I think it's a combination of all of those. I've said it before, the smoother I feel like I am on the mound, the better I feel like the ball comes out. And, that was one thing that they have here as far as the facilities to constantly be looking at where things are at. And that was a huge plus for me. So the in-between start stuff, constantly tinkering with your delivery, but getting it to a spot you want it and keeping it there. So, they have all the resources to be able to do that. And, you know, I just think that's going to be a huge plus.
I was listening to your press conference, and two observations. One is Chris Young is one of the only guys to make you look short. That's number one. And I was like, man, I didn't realize how big he was. And number two is you talked about vision and the Rangers' vision. Can you boil that down and be a little bit more specific about what their vision is?
Yeah, the vision's to win. The vision to win a World Series. You know, you look at the signings and guys who are going to be here for a long time, and then the farm system, it's unbelievable. So the goal is the ultimate goal is to win now, but then continue to win. And, you know, making a commitment to me for 5 years was huge. And that's, you know, I love playing this game and want to play as long as I can. And seeing that and, you know, talking through that with CY and Boch and ultimately Ray, you know, who had the final say in all of this. It was something that I saw that looked like an awesome opportunity. So couldn't be more excited about that.
All right, Jake, we've got all the serious stuff out of the way. How about 4 rapid-fire questions for Jacob deGrom, the deGrominator? Cowboy boots or cowboy hat?
Both.
Both. Okay, right down to it. I know you like fast food. Question number 2. What's your go-to, your best fast food sandwich?
I've kind of stopped eating it, but I do enjoy a double cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Okay, barbecue's big in Texas. Do you have any, like, what do you go for? What's your favorite barbecue dish?
Probably pulled pork.
Pulled pork. All right, last one. Golf. Great golf in Florida. Would you say New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, now Texas, Florida? Who has the best golf?
I don't know. I quit golfing, so I didn't get to golf much in New York.
How about we'll just say Texas? The new golf course is in Texas.
Texas. They got the best one. For sure.
You quit golf. You're telling Dan. Dan wants to do a whole separate segment on you quitting golf. That's how important it is to Dan. Where'd you quit?
Well, I've taken Jackson a couple times, and that turns into let's see how many balls we can try to hit into the bunker. So bunkers the whole time. So that was part of my quitting. So I just take a driving range now.
Beautiful. Hey, we appreciate the time. Congrats on the huge deal with the Rangers playing for a manager who has won 3 World Series. Bruce Bochy and Jacob deGrom, new guys in town in Arlington. Thank you, Jacob.